All right, guys, I'm here on the road and I just happened to see this selling in France, the latest MYSLF flanker from the house of YSL. This is MYSLF L'Absolu. It just launched and I'm going to tell you about it here in this video. First impressions on camera for you. Let me know if you're a fan of this collection. Now, I got the Eau de Parfum and spoke about it on camera 2 years ago approximately. And then last year they launched the Parfum, Le Parfum. Now we've got the L'Absolu. I haven't really gotten my nose on the Le Parfum. I was actually very curious about this one because of the metallic bottle. And so we started out with a black bottle. And we had, I think the Le Parfum was also a black bottle. And now we have this nice metallic silver bottle. This is the third flanker in the series of fragrances created by Christophe Raynaud, Daniela Andrier, and then also I think it's Antoine Maisondieu. So 3 perfumers from DRYDOWN who have created this. So as of the shooting of this video, I don't see this fragrance on Macy's, so I'm assuming it'll come very soon. But since I'm here and I found it, I wanted to get a bottle and I'll let you guys know about it. The first one seemed to be quite orange blossom forward, and also there was a lot of like ambroxan or something in it. This one features notes of ginger, cardamom for top notes, orange blossom for heart notes, and then patchouli for the base notes. Seems pretty simplistic, but I think since it's on its third flanker. Here's the bottle, by the way. I guess maybe it's doing quite well. Who knows? But if you've gotten your nose on MYSLF L'Absolu yet, do let us know what you think about it. That's the box right there. This was around 150 euros, I believe. This is a 100 ml bottle. And even though it's called L'Absolu, it is a Parfum concentration, as you can see there. You know, I like the original. It was not a love for me. I do enjoy Orange Blossom quite a bit, which I feel like this collection focuses on. I think that's the prime note. It's a citrus floral note if you don't know much about Orange Blossom. But if you're following this channel, you probably have heard about Orange Blossom because I speak about it quite frequently. It's a favorite note of mine, but they have made it quite masculine here, I think, in the original. But still, some of you might consider Orange Blossom maybe perhaps to be a feminine-leaning note or something. Who knows? But let me know if you're a fan of Orange Blossom. Let me know if you're a fan of the series. Let's go ahead and test it out. I'm just showered, so I'm not wearing any fragrance on, so this will be the first thing I'm spraying on, and I wanted to do this video, so I wanted to wait to not wear anything and see what this one's all about. So first off, I do want to say that even though this is a highly concentrated fragrance, designers don't ever give us what's known as beast mode in the true form or true sense of beast mode. Yes, some of you may only be familiar with wearing designer fragrances and you haven't graduated to niche. And so if you've really experienced a lot of niche fragrances that are like extrait de parfum, really highly concentrated fragrances, you're going to experience those much more beast mode than what you get from the designers. But if you're comparing a parfum concentration from a designer with other designer fragrances, sure, this one's going to be pretty highly concentrated. So as I'm kind of getting an idea of what it smells like on skin, I haven't put my nose to my hands yet. I am picking up something spicy, floral creamy, and also woody, perhaps a bit ambery as well. There is a slight bubblegummy effect happening here. I don't know where I'm getting that. Usually it's found with some floral notes like tuberose and jasmine. I don't think they're featuring that note here, but since it is giving me a little bit of the idea of bubblegum, I'm getting maybe perhaps there are some light traces of other white floral notes, but according to the YSL, I think I took my notes down from, I think it was Sephora France, and it mentioned that it has orange blossom for the heart notes, which I believe because this is the key ingredient or key note for the MYSLF collection, and of course the ginger and the cardamom, which are kind of cold spices, and the YSL description says icy spices. Icy, not like you're seeing it, but icy as in ice cold. and then the Patchouli. So let's go ahead and see what this one's all about. Bubblegum. I get a bubblegummy effect here. So I feel like it's the ginger and the cardamom mixed with the orange blossom that's creating that kind of an effect. I get bubblegum usually from tuberose, and there are fragrances like the Robert Piguet Fracas and other tuberose-focused fragrances that give me that kind of bubblegummy effect. This one is giving me that, but it's not necessarily reminding me of the smell of tuberose, but for sure it's a white floral effect. Very, very creamy here. And I thought I would get a lot more sharpness from this because of the ginger, because of the cardamom, and also the patchouli. But it's quite smooth, really nice. For sure I'm getting ambery effect in the base as well. There's definitely that kind of a idea here. I can't remember how the previous edition smelled, and the very first edition of MYSLF was a very molecular fragrance. I think they had the Givaudan type of ambroxan note in here. And so, like I said, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't a wow for me. This one actually is a bit more interesting with the spices up top and the orange blossom acting very bubblegummy. It's quite potent as well, and I don't know if you could see any oiliness on my skin because I sprayed quite a bit on here. Let's try that one too. I think this should satisfy. It's really potent enough. I'm going to pause the video now and test it out a little bit more. But before I do that, let me show you the bottle a little bit as well. It's gotten some smudges already on it. As you can see down here, it does say L'Absolu. But what do you guys think of the metallic looking silver bottle? Now that I'm asking you guys that question, do I get anything kind of metallic? Since the brand says icy spices, icy cold, metallic, sharp, I think the bottle does match that. But for me, since it does have a kind of a creamy effect, I don't consider this too ice cold as an experience, but I'm finding some warmth in the fact that it's a bit creamy. But in the end, it is utilizing fresher notes, not necessarily a lot of warm notes. But as I was saying earlier, I got a little bit of an ambery effect with this one. So it does have that kind of a thing going for it. But, you know, I'm going to pause the video and come back to you guys and let you know a little bit more. And you know what? Now that I'm putting a whiff to it on my hands here, it seems to be a lot more sharper now as the fragrance progresses on skin. And I can see the reason why they did this in the kind of metallic looking silver bottle. It's for sure going to that side. For sure it's more of an ice cold sharpness that I'm picking up, but still very kind of slightly bubblegummy for me because there's something in it that's giving me that kind of an effect, even though the orange blossom to me doesn't smell like the kind of orange blossom that you smell off the tree. This does have a bit very much more like a synthetic variety of orange blossom. But yeah, I'm gonna pause the video now and come back to you guys. All right, so now that I've been testing this out for at least an hour, guys, I have to be honest, this is the most synthetic smelling orange blossom note I have put my nose on. And I can't remember the previous edition if it smelled this synthetic, but I'm a big fan of orange blossom. I really, really love this note. This doesn't smell realistic like you're smelling it off the tree. And there's a lot of orange blossom fragrances out there, Neroli, Portofino, and things like that. You name it, there's a ton of them. And those all smell realistic. This one is quite synthetic smelling. It doesn't smell like the real stuff. But that bubblegum idea is so true here. It's like a chewy creaminess with a overdose of bubblegummy white floral orange blossom, but it's surrounded by something ice cold and sharp and metallic like the brand claims it to be. So this does act ice cold. It's very, very cold. But I've experienced other fragrances that come off a lot more ice cold. And I think it's that creamy effect that I'm getting here, that kind of soft, creamy, chewy kind of bubblegumminess that's giving me not necessarily the sharpest experience, because the color of the bottle, the silver bottle, is quite appropriate. It is a very cold effect. There's not a lot of warmth here. It does get a little ambery in the dry down. The patchouli in this also is not very similar to the patchouli that I've experienced, which I can understand. This is appealing to a younger demographic. It comes off very synthetic, and I knew what I was getting into when I decided to buy this fragrance and review it for you guys and to tell you my honest thoughts. If you're the type of person that has already graduated to the niche world, the fragrances that you are wearing and the ingredients they're using in these fragrances do smell realistic and not synthetic, then this fragrance is probably not for you. But if you're the type that wears men's designer fragrances and you like it to be strong and potent, fun and playful, because I feel like this is fun and playful, that whole effect that I'm getting with the chewiness of the bubblegum thing makes the fragrance idea or experience more fun and playful rather than something serious. I like the strength of the fragrance. It does have great lingering power, and it's also a bit super loud, but the fact that it's overdosed with the white floral note doesn't make it like the strongest fragrance. But for me, when I was experiencing the fragrance in the 1 hour that I wore it, I got a very loud experience from it. So it definitely had the intensity that I like from a parfum. But just the fact that, like I said, it's a floral note that they're using here, it doesn't come off like the beast mode. Let's say, for example, if it was something like tobacco or something heavy woods or heavy amber, I think those kind of fragrances should make you experience it a lot more heavier and a lot more beast mode. White floral notes never do that. Yeah, sure, the experience will be, but if I've got two different kinds of fragrances, one's more tobacco, woods, spices focused, and one like highlighting that floral note, the one with the floral note is not going to compete against the heaviness of the other fragrance, which features more deeper, more intense notes. So what is my honest consensus about this fragrance? You know, I like it. It's a fun fragrance. It's very young. It's for a younger demographic. It doesn't act mature to me just because I'm getting the bubblegum. That gives it a playful vibe. You know, one other thing I should say, I already mentioned how synthetic it smells. It smells not realistic. I mentioned how you know, fake or synthetic it smells with the orange blossom and also the patchouli. But you know, also the spices. You got the traces of spices. They don't come off naturalistic and the type of smells I'm familiar with when they're in the fragrances. The cardamom, I'm so familiar with it. The ginger, I consume these spices. It doesn't smell like what I consume here. So the overall fragrance, they have really intensified it and made this fragrance so super strong, utilizing a lot of synthetic notes. So that's definitely a negative for anyone that's looking for fragrances to smell naturalistic. But if you're looking for something loud, intense, beast mode, bubblegummy, white floral, I think this should satisfy, especially if you like it going into a metallic direction. So those are my thoughts here. I'm going to put it to use here a little bit more, and I'll do a follow-up video soon, maybe a short video, just to give you my further thoughts on longevity. But I think this should have great lingering power. And again, just know the fact that this is a white floral focused fragrance, the orange blossom, and those are never going to compete against other, you know, more deeper, denser notes. But there are exceptions to the rule, so we'll see how long this lasts. But let me know your thoughts on MYSLF L'Absolu. Have you gotten your nose on it yet? Are you going to get a bottle? Are you a fan of this collection? Do you enjoy the perfumers that are behind this fragrance? Add a comment below so we can find out. And let me know if you've bought the original in Eau de Parfum and the Parfum or Le Parfum from last year. And again, if you are going to buy the new L'Absolu, add a comment below. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.